top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts Bringing Value Home. Silencing the media is burying democracy. WPA roasts President Ali over treatment of the press. Dr. Campbell, the man for this season. Business experience will be a welcome perspective in the 13th Parliament. Dr. HINDS. Nigel Hughes resigns as AFC leader. National Executive to convene. Home Affairs Minister to place focus on domestic violence. Addresses decline in crime. And in sport, GCC Spartans Bounty GCC males records wins. Saints GCC and GBTI women secured draws as National Junior Hockey Tournament drops the puck. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Wednesday 17th September 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. This is what you should know this evening. Silencing the media is burying democracy. The Working People's Alliance has spared no words for President Irfaan Ali over his treatment of the local press. Travis Chase reports.
Leader of the Working People's Alliance, Dr. David HINDS, has chastised the Irfaan Ali administration for deliberately excluding accredited members of the press from attending the president's first press conference since his re-election. Dr. HINDS wants the president to know that silencing the media is burying democracy.
The media are the institution that makes a difference in terms of getting the government to address issues. And so when you silence the media in that way, you're burying democracy. And this is just days after an election and a new government.
Professor HINDS, during WPA's Wednesday morning press conference, said that for the Working People's Alliance, such deliberate act to exclude certain accredited members of the press from the president's press conference is reprehensible and can only be interpreted as a sign of what's to come.
We dare say, as WPA, that the action of the president is a signal of what to come, a signal of what to come. And as I said, you know, those of us who are saying that the fear of the PPP returning to power is a fear that ought to be shared by all right-thinking Guyanese.
Starbrick News, HGP Nightly News, Capital News, News in Depth, Prime News, Guyana Standard, and Big Smith News Watch have all reported that they were not contacted to attend the president's press conference. Dr. HINDS believes it borders along an elected autocracy that would only sink Guyana deeper into an abyss.
Immediately after the election, the president then behaves in that way, in a sense, silencing part of the media. It is reprehensible. It is not in keeping with democratic norms, and it further sinks Guyana into the category of an elected autocracy.
Only 5 days ago, Reporters Without Borders called on President Irfaan Ali's administration to take concrete steps to improve press freedom in Guyana. The France-headquartered global press freedom watchdog called on President Ali to end hostility towards the new media and instead make press freedom a priority during his 5-year mandate. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Dr. David HINDS sees Dr. Terence Campbell as the man for all seasons. However, the task of leading a Partnership for National Unity's parliamentary team will determine how his leadership will be viewed and embraced by society. He vows not only to support Dr. Campbell, but to hold his feet to the fire. Marvin Cato reports.
In an exclusive interview on Tuesday with Nightly News, Dr. HINDS did not mince words in his description of his parliamentary role. He was not only candid about his intentions in achieving the coalition's agenda, but also represent the interests of the WPA. He further went on to expound on why he agreed with Dr. Campbell leading the APNU's parliamentary delegation. He is of the view that he is the right man for the season.
You are my leader, but it does not mean that everything you do, I will just fall over and say you do well. My tendency says that you are my leader. I vote for you. You have my confidence.
HINDS sees his role as being that steady hand in the APNU's team.
But I'm also there to ensure that you do not deviate from what the society expects you to be.
According to Dr. HINDS, Dr. Campbell, who is seen as someone who commands a room, brings with him a wealth of experience, a clear understanding of the needs of society, so a high level of excitement is expected going forward.
I have tremendous respect for Dr. Campbell. I've known him long before he entered politics. I think he's a even-handed, level-headed person.
Dr. HINDS also believes that Dr. Campbell, being a scholar of business, will bring a fresh and welcome perspective while strengthening parliamentary discourse. Hence, Dr. HINDS believes his task in Parliament would be a challenging one that he would thrive in.
He comes from that aspect, that part of our society that engage in business. He's an entrepreneur, and so he brings the lens of the entrepreneur to this.
Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Day 24 of the election of fraud trial unfolded on Wednesday at the Georgetown's Magistrates Court, where cross-examination of key witnesses continued. Defense attorneys pressed former candidates and the party representatives, challenging their credibility and highlighting gaps in their evidence. Tiana Cole has been following that story.
Day 24 of the election fraud trial continued on Wednesday before Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty in the Georgetown Magistrates Court. Presidential candidate for the Citizenship Initiative, TCI, in the 2020 general elections, Rhonda Ann Lamb returned to the witness box, where she faced cross-examination by defense attorneys Nigel Hughes, Dexter Todd, and Ronald Daniels. Lamb, who was accredited as a counting agent during the elections, was first questioned by Attorney Hughes. She admitted that she could not say whether the numbers called out by GECOM officials were inconsistent with the documents in her possession. She further acknowledged that she never saw any publication by District 4 Returning Officer Clement Mingo regarding results, nor did she mention in her statement that she had seen a GECOM publication of Region 4's results. Under cross-examination by Attorney Todd, Lamb confirmed that she received no training from GECOM on the electoral process. She also stated that none of the defendants could have created discrepancies she observed in the statements of polls, SOPs. When asked whether she had evidence that the defendant conspired to commit fraud, she admitted that, as a candidate, she would not have been privy to any such arrangement. Lamb also agreed that all defendants were acting in their legal capacity during the tabulation and recount processes. It was then suggested to her that presenting a documented record of all or alleged discrepancies would have been helpful to the court, to which she concurred. In the absence of such a document, however, she admitted that the discrepancies she identified remain unclear. Attorney Daniels later questioned Lamb on whether the then Chief Election Officer, Keith Lowenfield, sought to assist party agents during protest and objections, to which she agreed. However, when asked if she gave police a copy of the 17-page document she claimed Lowenfield provided her, Lamb admitted she had not. Daniels then suggested that she was never given such a document, but Lamb disagreed. In the afternoon session, Jonathan Yearwood of a new and united Guyana ANUG also returned to the stand for further cross-examination by attorneys Hughes and Wade. Yearwood admitted that he never lodged a formal complaint with GECOM on behalf of his party. He also could not identify who created the spreadsheet he relied on, nor could he verify the source of the information it contained. Attorney Wade pressed Yearwood on whether he had ever witnessed the defendants conspiring to falsify election results. Yearwood admitted he had not. He also confirmed he never saw former Minister Waldo Lawrence tabulating SOPs or instructing anyone to alter figures. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Join us after the break. We have more news for you.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc., powering your life with elegance, quality.
Did you tell him that Danny went to pick up KFC?
No, wait a minute. Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Commissioner Rolfe Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC, Monrepo, East Coast, and Marara, or call 220-9624-629-4021 or 619-7880. At Krishna Rolfe Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Thanks for staying with us. You with the HGP Nightly News. Attorney at law Nigel Hughes has stepped down as leader of the Alliance for Change less than 1 month after the party recorded disappointing results at the 2025 general and regional elections. His decision has prompted urgent discussions at the party's highest level. Tiana Cole filed that story.
Attorney at law Nigel Hughes has resigned as the leader of the Alliance for Change, AFC, weeks after the party was only able to secure 3,607 votes in the recently concluded 2025 regional and general elections. In his resignation letter, which was seen by this newscast, Hughes said it was a privilege to be elected leader. However, he admitted that the results were beyond disappointing, adding that the responsibility for the outcome rests solely on his shoulders. The letter further stated, quote unquote, "I believe the party has a great role to play in the development of this great country of ours, and I wish the chair and executive my best wishes and support on its forward trajectory." Hughes also expressed gratitude to AFC for giving him the opportunity to lead during what he described as a difficult time. Following his decision, the AFC's General Secretary issued a release confirming receipt of Hughes' resignation. The statement noted that the National Executive Committee, NEC, will be meeting in emergency session to consider the ramifications and consequences of the letter and to encourage Hughes to reconsider his decision. The release added that if Hughes remains firm, the party's constitutional provision will guide the way forward. It was only a few days ago that the NEC had met and expressed fresh confidence in Hughes' leadership. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
In response to public debate over the tenure and composition of opposition-appointed members of the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, Vincent Alexander says it is a serious matter which requires full understanding of the law and the urgent need for constitutional reform.
Azruddin Mohammed, opposition leader and leader of the We Invest in Nationhood Party, recently called for opposition-appointed members of the Guyana Elections Commission to resign. He made these calls since his party, which is now the main parliamentary opposition, is interested in occupying those roles at GECOM, as the Partnership for National Unity, APNU, has 12 seats and WIN occupying 16. Vincent Alexander, a current opposition-nominated commissioner, stated that this matter is not a case of a party, but is solely dependent on the provisions outlined in the Constitution.
The disposition of people towards this matter suggests that they do not, in fact, represent an understanding of our problem and the need for change, and are simply pursuing the same corrupted and dysfunctional approach to our institutional and legal arrangements.
Alexander stated that in order for change to occur, the people must advocate for constitutional reform, as only then can the majority of the Guyanese receive the changes they require, whether in the composition of the GECOM or other archaic laws. When asked why he or other GECOM opposition members did not resign, in remonstration of the irregularities highlighted before the conduct of the 2025 general and regional elections, Alexander gave this response.
That protestation, in my humble opinion, would not have had the effect. There are ways around the issue of a quorum, and I've been very, very uncertain about the effect of such a resignation in terms of achieving the objective. I've been faced with that uncertainty.
Last week at an APNU press conference, Aubrey Norton expressed reluctance to ask any of the commissioners to step down. Norton told reporters that the GECOM commissioners, 3 from the opposition and 3 from the government, are permanent, and there is no law in place to remove them.
We agreed on a permanent commission. As far as I'm aware, there's nobody with the authority to move anybody from the commission.
Articles 225 and 226 deal with court rules and the removal of certain office bearers, including GECOM commissioners. Article 226 states that a person holding an office cannot be removed or suspended from performing their duties unless in accordance with this article. The officer may be removed from office only if he is unable to perform his duties, whether due to physical or mental infirmity or any other reason, or he misbehaves. Mr. Norton made it clear that the current structure at GECOM continues to pose a challenge.
The problem at present is that the chairman has become an arbiter, and therefore it is the will of the government alone, because the chairman votes with the government, and we are where we are.
Antonia Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Newly appointed Minister of Home Affairs Unij Waldron says her administration is taking a strong stance against domestic crime, even as overall crime rates show a decline. She outlined plans to tackle illegal firearms and improve transparency in firearm licensing. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
Newly appointed Minister of Home Affairs Unij Waldron on Wednesday during a capital site visit said government is concerned about domestic crime and is committed to addressing it under her tenure.
We are seeing decline in serious crime, but domestic crime, it's still, while it's not as high as it was in the previous years, it's still high enough. One person being killed in a domestic crime or being seriously injured is still too much.
The minister noted that overall crime has declined by 26%, but stressed that sustained action is needed, particularly against illegal firearms.
In terms of illicit firearms on our streets, that work continues. I know the police force has been doing, and other agencies have been doing work in terms of getting the illicit firearm off the street.
Minister Waldron also revealed plans to introduce digital systems to ensure greater accountability and transparency in firearm licensing, aiming to eliminate biases in the approval process.
To be based on a certain criteria, and those things are going to be set, at least under my administration, that those are the, I've spoken to the Secretary of the Firearm Board. I'm yet to speak with the chairman. I will have a meeting with the chairperson. Actually, the board has to be renewed. And then when we do so, we're going to be sitting and setting some criteria that removes that human that bias.
Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned, we have more news for you.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
So much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Granny, what are you doing on the right of way? Like you're saying let the sunshine stretch your legs. Sunshine? Look, forget I ask. You know you're not supposed to be on the right of way, Granny. But I am digging, building, burning, or planting. No horsing wrong, no horse riding, or nothing for doing horses. But Sunshine? But you and Sunshine get out of the right of way. Sunshine, let me glad. Good.
Did you tell him that Danny went to pick up kids?
No, wait a minute. Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
You with the HGP Nightly News. Thanks for staying with us. With the new and improved modern infrastructure in place, the old Demerara River Bridge will remain retracted once the new bridge is commissioned. So says Public Works Minister NIGEL. Marvin Cato reports.
The old Demerara Harbour Bridge is slated to remain retracted for 24-hour ship traffic once the new Demerara River Bridge is commissioned. This update was provided by Minister of Public Works, Bishop NIGEL, during an engagement with the Private Sector Commission on Monday. According to Minister NIGEL, and I quote, "The day that the Demerara River Bridge is opened, I have to open the old bridge and leave it open until I move it, because there will be no opening and closing for ships. There must be 24 hours traffic of ships coming and going," close quote, Minister NIGEL said. This move, according to the minister, will significantly increase the commercial viability of shipping in Guyana. Following the permanent retraction, sections of the bridge will be transferred to various areas to form new bridges. This will facilitate the movement of traffic. It will also boost connectivity in those locations. Minister NIGEL highlighted that Timeri Sand Hills has been identified as one such area to receive the retractor and acceptor spans of the bridge, along with 2 additional sections. He emphasized that, and I quote, "When you put it up all the way to Sand Hills, you could open and close at leisure for the bauxite thugs to pass, because the traffic crossing Sand Hills will be totally different. You are going through to get to Falmouth and then into Bartica," close quote. Additionally, the minister is also exploring the possibility of moving sections of the iconic structure to Kokwani, Sand Creek in Region 9, and the islands of Legwan and Wakanam in Essequibo. Advising on the final touches of the new bridge, Minister NIGEL pointed to the fact that the new bridge is being load tested to examine the structural integrity of the new landmark project. He explained that the testing, which is significant, will ensure the cables in the sections can bear the weight and that all dimensions meet international requirements or specifications. And I quote, "It has nothing to do with how much weight can cross the bridge," close quote, Minister NIGEL explained. He noted that the cranes operating on the bridge weighs 760 tons, while the crawlers used to move one of the girders weighs 60 tons. This, he noted, shows there is no issue with the bridge's capacity. The testing of the megastructure is being conducted in line with strict international standards set by the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, AASHTO. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Education and infrastructural development are again in the spotlight. Activist Laura George has issued a call for urgent attention to be given to address several delays or incomplete school projects across the respective administrative regions. Jada June reports.
On a recent Facebook post, activist Laura George stressed on the importance of addressing long-standing infrastructure challenges in the education sector. She highlighted that several schools and dormitories across the hinterland and coastal regions remain incomplete, creating setbacks for students and communities. Among the projects cited were Santa Rosa Secondary School Dormitory, Quibana Secondary School, the Philippi Secondary School, Jawala Secondary School and Dormitory, and new infrastructure for the Desiree Caesar Fox Secondary in Region 7, Monkey Mountain Secondary School and Dormitory, Kopinag Secondary School, Dormitory of Paramakatoy Secondary, and Mikobi Secondary in Region 8, Mirarinao Secondary Dormitory in Region 9. According to George, the completion of these projects must be prioritized to ensure equitable access to education for all Guyanese children, regardless of geography. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development held a high-level meeting with the regional executive officers, regional education officers, regional health officers, and engineers. At the conclusion of that engagement, Subject Minister Priya Manichan described the engagement as fruitful, noting that it was aimed at strengthening governance and the delivery of services. She emphasized government's commitment to bridging gaps between local governance structures and national priorities while ensuring citizens in every region have access to quality services.
There are a couple of things that we have to do as emergencies. What are projects that have not been completed? Why have they not been completed? How are we moving past the point we're at right now to completion?
Minister Manichan further underscored that development must be inclusive, with the guiding principle that no community is left behind.
Those are some gaps that we have to plug, and I'm looking forward to helping to do that.
The minister, however, did not give definitive completion timelines when these and other incomplete projects will be completed. Jada June report for HGP Nightly News.
ExxonMobil Guyana and its contractors have spent over $2.9 billion with Guyanese businesses since operations began in 2015. $419 million was spent directly with 1,800 local vendors, reinforcing the oil company's dedication to local content development. Antonio Day reports.
In the first half of 2025 alone, $490 million was spent directly from 1,800 local vendors, reinforcing ExxonMobil Guyana's dedication to local content development through significant investments in local businesses, workforce training, and community development initiatives. The oil company, in a press statement on Wednesday, noted that as of mid-2025, more than 6,200 Guyanese are employed by ExxonMobil Guyana, and its contractors making up 70% of the workforce. Notably, 1 in 3 employees are Guyanese women, with 1,800 Guyanese currently working offshore. Exxon said that this year also marked a significant milestone with the start in-country fabrication services at Vredenhoek Shore Base, Inc. According to the press statement, Alistair Routledge, president of ExxonMobil Guyana, divulged that we are proud of the progress we have made in building local talent, seeing more Guyanese take on key roles in the oil and gas industry, as a clear sign that our commitment to capacity building is working, end of quote. With financial support from ExxonMobil Guyana, the Starboard Block Co-Ventures, and the government, the Guyana Technical Training College, Inc. is preparing to work its first cohort of students who will be fully trained starting in October 2025, a major achievement in technical education. ExxonMobil Ghana's internship program is also yielding results. Of the inaugural class, 5 interns have already been hired in the company. The 2025 internship program is currently on the way, continuing to provide valuable career opportunities for young Guyanese professionals. Additionally, Ghana's oil and gas employees benefited from receiving 370,000 hours of leadership, technical and professional health, safety and security training. Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Live the Island Dream. It's your chance to be one of over 100 winners in the Island Dream promotion. Win your share of more than $1 million in cash and prizes, plus 2 all-inclusive weekend staycations for 2. And that's not all. Score coolers packed with Buster, Turbo, Altitude, and Viva. Just buy any can or bottle of Turbo, Buster, Altitude, or Viva. Find the code starting with BB, then visit at Buster Guyana or Turbo_Caribbean on IG or Facebook for details.
Live the Island Dream, get money. Live the Island Dream.
Since 2016, I've helped transform classrooms through the Voluntary Youth Corps after-school program. I'm not just a teacher, I am a STEM educator, motivating Guyana's youth to dream big. The best part? Witnessing that aha moment when students grasp a new concept, win an award, or soar to new heights. This is what's possible.
Learn more about Mr. Sudu's story and how ExxonMobil's investments in STEM education are benefiting students across Guyana at www.exxonmobil.com/what-is-possible.
Granny, what you doing on the right of way? Like you're saying let the sunshine stretch your legs. Sunshine? Look, forget I ask. You know you're not supposed to be on the right of way, Granny. But I ain't digging, building, burning, or planting. No horse in the wrong, no horse riding, or nothing for doing horses. But Sunshine? But you and Sunshine get off the right of way. Sunshine, let me do that. Good.
Did you tell him that Danny went to pick up KFC?
No, wait a minute. Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Good evening and welcome to Wednesday's edition of the Regional News. Nationals from 4 Caribbean Community CARICOM countries, Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, will now be able to exercise their rights to enter, leave, and re-enter, move freely, reside, work, and remain indefinitely in the receiving member states, in keeping with a CARICOM head's decision taken at the 49th regular meeting of the Conference of CARICOM Heads of Government this year, without a need for a work or residency permit. A press release issued by the CARICOM Secretariat stated that the 4 member states' nationals will also be able to exercise emergency and primary health care and public primary and secondary education within the means of the receiving member state. The governments of the 4 CARICOM member states, the statement read, have agreed to implement full free movement among themselves from October 1 this year. CARICOM also noted that representatives from these 4 member states have been meeting and working to ensure that required measures to support the full free movement of their nationals will be undertaken and commence on October 1, 2025. Jair Bolsonaro, Brazil's former president, was sentenced to 27 years and 3 months in prison after the country's Supreme Court convicted him of attempting a coup to stay in power despite losing in the 2022 election. It's not the first time Brazil has convicted a former president, but it was the first time an ex-leader in Brazil faced coup-related charges, despite the country having experienced at least 15 coups and coup attempts since the end of its monarchy in 1889. Bolsonaro's verdict has driven a wedge into an already polarized Brazil. The 70-year-old far-right populist has repeatedly denied accusations that he attempted to overthrow the government, decrying the case as political persecution. Bolsonaro has been under house arrest since August 4th, but his conviction does not mean he'll immediately be sent to prison. Bolsonaro's team can appeal the ruling before the Supreme Court's full 11 justices, and it's unclear if he will actually be sent to prison, given his health struggles. 4 CARICOM countries have been listed in U.S. President Donald Trump's determination on major drug transit or major illicit drug producing countries for fiscal year 2026, submitted to the United States Congress. According to the document, Trump has identified the Bahamas, Belize, Haiti, and Jamaica as major transit or major illicit drug producing countries. The other countries named are Afghanistan, Bolivia, the People's Republic of China, Colombia, Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, India, Mexico, Nicaragua, Pakistan, Panama, Peru, and Venezuela. Trump noted that a country's presence on the list is not necessarily a reflection of its government's counter-drug efforts or level of cooperation with the United States. Thank you for watching. I am Tiana Cole.
Now let's join Delwyn Neblett for HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delwyn Neblett with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. We begin tonight with football news. Guyanese Zion Hickerson, a 10-year-old standout of the Verlin Mills Academy, has been able to attract the attention of 2 of the finest clubs in Europe. The student of St. Gabriel's Primary has received offers from both Juventus and Borussia Dortmund to join their youth academies in New York. Both academies are now eager to include the young prodigy in their rosters for the 2025-26 season, having witnessed him display his skills at a recent Juventus Academy tryout held in New York on Randall's Island. The dream may have to wait since his father, Oren Hickerson, is currently in discussions for the opportunity to be pushed back to the 2026-27 season to first allow Zion to complete his national grade 6 assessment. Zion is a multi-sport talent who is currently preparing not only to lead his side in the upcoming Courts Optical Pee Wee football competition in Guyana, but also to compete in the Littlemore International Lawn Tennis Tournament scheduled for December in Florida. Moving into some domestic hockey, action commenced at the National Gymnasium last evening in this year's National Junior Hockey Tournament. The first match saw the GCC Spartans claim a walkover victory since their expected challengers, the Hikers, did not show up for the encounter. In match number 2, it was a 1-1 draw in the boys under-17 clash between Old Fort and the Hikers Hatchets, as both Jander Carpio and Elijah Bell recorded goals for their respective sides. Match number 3 produced a high-scoring thriller in the open women's category between GBTI GCC and Old Fort, which ended in a 3-3 draw. Scoring twice, Old Fort's Kitana Percival gave her side a commanding 3-0 lead, but GCC's Apsadi Kadagan, Kirsten Gomes, and Rebecca Ferreira would each score in the second half to ensure that the scores would be leveled at the end of the match. Match number 4, the highest scoring game of the night, produced 11 goals in an open men's clash that saw Bounty GCC win 8-3 against the GCC Outlaws. Both Kareem McKenzie and Luke Surgeon scored doubles for their respective sides. Match number 5 was a 2-2 draw between GBTI, GCC, and Saints in the women's open category, with Rebecca Ferreira, Apsadi Kadagan, Claza Bob, and Alexia Elias each scoring 1 goal. The final match in the open men's category was a 6-2 victory for Old Fort on the back of 2 goals from Shaquan Favorite, as both Simeon Moore and Jason DeSantos recorded 1 goal each in a winning effort. Moving into some cricket, the Trinbago Knight Riders advanced to the second qualifier of the Caribbean Premier League 2025. CPL action resumed last evening at the Guyana National Stadium in Providence as the playoffs got underway with the eliminator between the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons and the TKR. After winning the toss and deciding to bowl, the Knight Riders limited the Falcons to a modest 166 for 8 off of their allotment of 20 overs. Andres Gustav scored with 61 from 45, with good assistance from Amir Django, who scored 55 from 49, inclusive of 3 maximums. Shrub Netravalkar took 3 for 23 as both Andre Russell and Usman Tariq picked up 2 wickets each. When TKR responded, it was a commanding batting performance from captain Nicholas Pooran, who scored a pugnacious unbeaten 90 from 53, and opening batsman Alex Hales, who was also unbeaten on 54 from 40, to reach 168 for 1 in just 17.3 overs. Player of the match, Pooran struck 8 sixes in the 9-wicket victory, which now ensures an opportunity on Friday for the Night Riders to make the final on Sunday, as they now await the result to play the loser of tonight's qualifier between defending champions Kings and the home side Warriors. Also in cricket, Tejaran Chanderpaul has been recalled to the West Indies Test side ahead of the upcoming tour to India in October. The 29-year-old left-handed opener, who is the eldest offspring of former West Indies legend Shivnarine Chanderpaul, is a part of a 15-member squad that was released by Cricket West Indies on Tuesday, which also includes Guyanese top-order batter Kevlon Anderson, wicketkeeper batter Tevin Imlach, and seamer Shamar Joseph. Dominican left-hander Alec Athenaeus also returns to the side after missing the recent home series against Australia, where the Windies suffered a 3-0 whitewash. Trinidadian left-arm orthodox Kari Pierre has received his maiden call-up, while Craig Brathwaite, Johan Lane, Casey Carty, and Mackay Louis have all been dropped from the side. It is important to note that the selection group has opted to rest Guyanese all-rounder Gudakish Moti for this red ball series, given the demands of the upcoming limited over schedule. The primary focus will be the ICC T20 World Cup scheduled for next February and March. We conclude tonight with basketball news. The Ravens Basketball Club of Central Georgetown, as a part of its commitment to community upliftment, announced via social media that they have engaged in 2 noteworthy charitable initiatives in the month of August. The club made donations to 2 esteemed institutions, the Uncle Eddie's Home and the Rhineville Children's Home, as a part of its ongoing efforts to support and invest in the well-being of vulnerable groups in Guyana. In a direct quote, head coach Marlon Rodriguez said, "As a team, we are not only committed to excellence in basketball, but also to being agents of positive change. Giving back to institutions like the Uncle Eddie's Home and the Rhineville Children's Home is a part of our responsibility as community role models." These initiatives follow the club's impressive performance in the 2025 edition of the One Guyana Basketball Tournament, where the Ravens proudly finished as national runners-up to the reigning champions Victory Valley Royals. The Ravens' success in the tournament has further motivated its members to lead with purpose and set an example of unity, generosity, and sportsmanship. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblett, reminding you to stay in the game.
Silencing the media is burying democracy. WPA roasts President Ali over treatment of the press. Dr. Campbell, the man for this season. Business experience will be a welcome perspective in the 13th Parliament. Dr. HINDS. Nigel Hughes resigns as AFC leader. National Executive to convene. Home Affairs Minister to place focus on domestic violence, addresses decline in crime. And in sport, GCC Spartans and Bounty GCC males records wins. Saints GCC and GBTI women secures draws as National Junior Hockey Tournament drops the puck. Those are all major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm ALETHEA Grant. Thanks for watching.